series. I'm interested to see where we start out. CTF Bazaar, again, this is a conversation that we've had quite a lot. This feels like it is a really good gauge for these teams to see how they really work together as a squad, considering the way that you need to play this map on CTF.
Yeah, you know, CTF Bazaar is a very contentious map for a lot of these teams.
My favorite map.
And here's the thing. Yesterday, when we had Divine Mind play CTF Bazaar, they had a really rough start opening on this map. They were literally being body smacked around this map. So it's going to be interesting to see what kind of strategies they bring into this opening, because I feel like this is going to set the tone for the rest of these series. If Direwolves get a very far leg up on Divine Mind here, it might seal the deal for them.
How do we feel about the rest of it, though, Josh?
Yeah, I mean, Direwolves have to win this first one. I don't see them taking Divine Mind in the Slayers Streets if they lose that first map and going into an Oddball Recharge. They would be, if that was the case, in my opinion, would be down 2-0. I don't see how they're going to be able to clutch up in that third, but hey, my predictions rarely go right. I
mean, at this point, every single time that at least one of us here on the desk has said something with so much confidence, it's gone completely the other way. So who knows when we do get towards that point. But I'm excited to see if we do get deeper towards, maps 4 and 5 to see how it really does pan out, whether or not we've got like a hot Direwolves, whether or not we even have a cold Divine Mind, because we've seen some crazy stuff that happens between these guys right now. And I think this series is going to be a good test for Divine Mind if they can bounce back from yesterday.
I think they can. And I think that if they were to get a victory here, they're going to be up against what I believe will be Immunity, since they're up against Chiefs in the winners bracket. With Immunity losing against the Chiefs, Divine Mind hypothetically winning here, I think that Divine Mind will beat them this time around, and Divine Mind will go up against Chiefs in the grand final. That's what I think is going to happen.
He just predicted the whole championship Sunday out on the desk. Blue, you do the same. Go on.
I'm not going to predict the whole thing, but what I will say is that we've experienced so many upsets here already on this weekend. It wouldn't surprise me if the gods just will it that we experience it on Super Sunday once again. This is it for a lot of these players. Now they can pull out everything out of the bag, and if they're going to do it in one place that they haven't previously before, it's going to be here. I think we might be exposed to just trauma, really.
Well, don't listen to me anyway, Luke. I can look outside, see rain, and still get the prediction wrong for weather. So
which he's been doing all weekend anyway. So.
It's fun anyway. But I do genuinely think that that's what's going to happen. We'll have to see.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I think we can give commendations to everyone for being able to put out their predictions here. I honestly do think that we probably will be going the distance. I think, all memes aside, I feel like we probably will go the distance. I'm going to have to agree with Blue. It feels like this probably will be a 3-2 for Divine Mind. But at the end of the day, we still have to wait to get into the server, and we still have to see how it all does pan out, because we have seen some crazy stuff that has been going on here in ANZ. And I think just the fact that we have these 4 teams for our top 4, I don't think anybody is all too surprised or all too sad that we have these top 4 teams for today.
No. I don't think so at all. I don't think there's any sadness here. This is very much like we even had a lot of talk, very much so off the stream, just about where we think all these teams are going to end up. Even on Friday when we were coming in here, and we kind of predicted that overall this is where the bracket was going to stand.
Yeah.
Again, we did have some upsets, but
But
there wasn't
number one.
Yeah, of course for you, Luke. But there was never really, like an upset that set the tone for everything else to go forward. It's been very structured.
I think we would have liked to have seen, I know I would have liked to have seen BBR here. Yep. I know some of us would have liked to see Demons just for the narrative to see them here. But I mean, who were you going to get rid of? It's not going to be Chiefs. It's not going to be Divine Mind. Immunity, it's sick that they're there. At Direwolves, they they just deserve to be here for how hard they're playing, how good they're playing with a player with COVID. Deano's playing the best Halo of his life. They deserve to be here. So, I mean, you can only have one winner in the end anyway.
Exactly, and I'm so excited that we have this top 4. But ladies and gentlemen, it's time for us to jump into map number 1 here. So let's head it over to our casters. We've got Hoots and SSJ4.
Thank you very much, boys, and we're moving in. Hooters, we're going to very short amount of time. Predictions, go.
Call me Splinters because I'm sitting on the fence on this one. I honestly couldn't call it. I agree with Bluey. I think it's going to be a 3-2. I'm going to have to go Direwolves, though, because I think Divine Mind yesterday in particular just faltered a fair few times, and I heard Deano saying, when Direwolves' vibe are good, they perform really well. I reckon their vibe's going to be up today. Divine Mind, not too sure about them.
Well, I'm vibing Divine Mind, so we're 50-50 at the moment, but we are moving into map 1, CTF on Bazaar, and I'm going to expect a lot of scrap off the rip, but BZIIRK, the aggressive player, straight out the double doors, tossing out a grenade, and eyes on that overshield, finds himself Zerkil, and I like this angle that he's taken, very aggressive, challenging him off the rip, Hoots. That's the BZIIRK that we know and love.
I mean, I like that aggression, though. He does go down, but at least it seems like he's been able to get his teammate to be able to secure these rockets here with FlexRainZ. So FlexRainZ has the rockets, and I think they're probably going to, unfortunately, they don't pick up the OS. So Direwolves do manage to grab the OS. So I like this move, though, getting up into the bar, getting height to be able to rain some fire down on Vampt. It is Vampt with the overshoot. It has been completely melted now. You just saw, Justin, so much attention paid to him at the start. Grenades, bullets, that's one way to take an overshield down.
It is now with Zerkil finding himself one. He's got some help with Deano next to him. Going to be taking another angle. Looks like a little bit of a detour to grab that Mangler. He grabs that off the rack, and now he's moving through. Nice angle down on the radar. Don't think he knows he's there, but he is. He gets the call out, and Beastn comes for the chow, and he's back down to his BZIIRK. He's like, boys, I'll take him. Call him out. Where is he? And BZIIRK, he'll get aggressive on here, Hoots. He won't let him get away, I don't think.
I love that use of the spike nade there, though. He was low shields, but he at least cut off any attempt at challenging him there so he could get his shields back down in the river. What we have seen, Justin, in the last couple of days, is particularly yesterday in this CTF Bazaar game type, is teams actually being able to get their flag runs through uncontested a lot of the time. They typically have to be really scrappy in the previous few tournaments that we have had, but it seems like teams are finally starting to figure that out, and when they do pull flags, making them actually count. So let's keep an eye on if they're actually able to do that again today.
You know what it could be, Hoots? It could be the fact that it's so hectic in the middle of the map. They're all concentrated on, you know, he's one shot here, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, oh, you know, he's hiding in the bottom mid, like, you know, focus him. And then someone just kind of sneaks the flag past, being a sneaky little beaver. And now with Balds here, that thrust coming out from BZIIRK, he does manage to finally land those shots. But infiltrating that Divine Mind base is the Bald unit himself, getting that flag moving, a little super slide there, and he might be able to get it out of the treehouse, but he's decided to challenge this player behind him. And I like this decision here. He didn't really have a lot of help, and he's going to be able to get the trade. That's a very critical trade for Divine Mind there, the stop ball.
Oh, I thought he was even going to potentially win that one. That use of the thrust was fantastic. Let's also mention Bald is playing in the thick of a COVID infection right now as well. So, you know, who knows what kind of impact that's having on him, but I don't know, he's feeling pretty terrible right now physically. So great to see he is still competing. And I mean, that challenge there, you know, he ended up getting just the trade, but still, even just to come away with a kill himself, it's just a fantastic effort. Yeah,
fantastic effort for him, testing positive for 6 on the board with 5 deaths. Now with Beastn here, one of the big, strong slayers on the Divine Mind roster. He's really been impressing all weekend. They're moving in to try and get a flag moving. I like this. Beastn holding back Balds as another teammate gets that flag moving. That Spanker is about to pop as well, Hoot, so they need to pay attention to that. There it is. It's up on the board, and they can't get distracted too much by this flag. This Rockets, it's going to be make or break this play, I think.
Yeah, so they actually, when they went into this flag pool, they actually had, I think it was like 3 or 4 down. So they've managed to get it at least through halfway, but the hustle back of the Direwolves to get back was really, really strong. So this flag, not sure if we're going to actually be in a position to get it, although we do have a play running in now, but I think we're probably going to see a return here, pretty uncontested now. So good work from Deano there. He didn't drop until he knew that the kill had been made down at the bottom there. He'd go in and get a relatively uncontested flag return.
He did, and you could see that it was all Direwolves bottom mid there. Deano with a nice little flank onto Radiant, had no idea that he was there. Now sniffing out BZIIRK with it. Couple of shots from that Bulldog, and deciding to keep his power position here. Yep. It's not challenging, not chasing for that kill. Very disciplined from Deano.
Well, you may as well, right? Because OS is up in 10 as well, so he can do one of two things. If his teammates have OS locked down and they're able to get it, he can start to focus on flag. Alternatively, he can maintain his top position here. And you just see him sprint right past 3 people. I don't think he saw that coming. He's going to be dropped, and we should see Divine Mind now in a position to be able to capture this overshield finally and start to make a push themselves.
Oh, I hope Deano's wearing his brown pants today, because that was a scary one.
It's like a horror movie.
But while we were watching that, FlexRainZ managing to grab that overshield. Deano doing very well to melt that off him. That's what you want to do. You just want to take that overshield out of the game. Now sorting out Vampt. He's taken out by a tasty grenade from Beastn. Now FlexRainZ challenging Zerkil, but opting to value his life here, and he's in a great position to watch over this flag, Hoots. I like his positioning.
Yeah, I do as well. So he's just going to wait for his teammates to come back and try and get a touch on here. You do see they are spawning over towards Rocket side, and I like this move as well, pushing over, knowing that that's where the angles are going to be coming from Direwolves, up on top of their side of Rocket. So Bald, though, has spawned over down near OS, and he's going to start to go for a return. It is contested right now. He's going to need to kill Vampt, make sure this return doesn't happen. Vampt just trying to stay alive, manages to drop him, keeps the flag alive. Absolutely huge, Justin. He's now going to try and run it through the double doors. And with 3 down for Direwolves at that point, he should be able to get this through. I can't see anyone in a position to stop him here.
That was perfectly played by FlexRainZ. There's no other way to describe it. He timed it perfectly, positioned himself perfectly, and now they've got one on the board. Divine Mind with the lead. It took about 6 minutes, we're almost halfway through the game, Hoots, but still on board with FlexRainZ. He's already all the way across the other side of the map, applying pressure, and BZIIRK wants this game done. He's already in the base. He does get caught unaware by Balds there, and he might get shut down. Balds doing well to defend his flag there. Players dropping left and right. So many people on the respawn screen, Hoots.
We spoke about FlexRainZ before, and I know yesterday his objective work that we saw when they were playing was just so good. There was that oddball game on Streets where he played, to me, the absolute perfect oddball game. And then we just saw that flag run there. You said it perfectly, Justin. Maintain that top control. Only chose to go down and get down and dirty when he needed to clean up a kill on Vampt and put that flag in. Great work from FlexRainZ. So let's keep an eye on him in terms of objective running for the rest of the series.
I mean, FlexRainZ, he is the beauty on the team, but look at the beast. 18 and 10 currently. He is a slaying machine, but we are on board with FlexRainZ. Now he's got that spanker ready to come out, and he has to trade in that situation. Really unfortunate. Caster's curse, Hoots. No one can shoot a good rocket when you're around.
No, that's my fault. Apologies about that. But we have to. That's when rockets often get used, really, at the very start, because they're so hotly contested. The first rocket's often used almost as a shoddy with splash damage. Long-range rockets there from Beastn don't connect, but he does have 2 Direwolves players pinned down around the thruster here, so he's going to call out to his team to hopefully get him to come in and help clean up. I love that shift there to move over the double doors, take out Deano, and very smart again, Justin. Knew he was never going to win that. You can't get up on the top there, but smart idea. A good attempt nonetheless.
Yeah, he's trying to glitch it on top of the map there, I reckon. And now with Vampt, we haven't seen much from him so far on the broadcast, and he's going down into the sewers, grabs that Bulldog woof woof going through, and he'll see if he can find any players. He no one's really touching him, but he does get the call out. Beastn, he can sniff him out, dropping some spike grenades so he can scamper away here, tail between his legs. But looking back, Vamp's a bit twitchy here. I'm not sure he knows what he wants to do. Hoots.
Yeah, well, I know, when you've got a scoreline of 5 and 14, perhaps you do start to second guess yourself. He has found himself in a bit of no man's land here, so he does manage to catch at least one player off spawn. Right now he's just wondering, when do I pull the flag? Because it does look like he really has the team support around him, yet he does get a nice kill on Beastn down in the pump, but not too bad as well, because he's able to put a real distraction here and start to make Divine Mind second guess this flag run, knowing that you've got Vampt there at the base. So he does get dropped, picks up only 1 kill out of that run, but he's at least delayed the flag run here, and hopefully he can get some of his teammates like Deano to come back and put a stop to this.
Some critical seconds here.
Yeah.
You know, Vampt in the end didn't know what he wanted to do, but it worked out perfectly. Maybe it was all calculated. He's just, I'm going to chill here for a minute and put some pressure on this flag run. It does look like that's one return, Hoots, but that overshield just as popped, and I think FlexRainZ managed to grab it, raided, swinging in there and taking out that player. Flex with yet another overshield and putting so much pressure on those spawners. Vampt, he only just popped up. Deano's in trouble. That's 2 down, raided in a position to run that flag. Bald's last alive by the double doors, but FlexRainZ too strong. He didn't even need the OS. His BR shot was so strong. Now he's running that flag. He's a moving tank, just ferrying this one back to his base.
And just having this little bit of overshield so crucial, enabling to get through these double doors if he can, and he does. So just that little bit, look at him, he's no shields right now, it looks like, or almost no shields, but that overshield just kept him alive, and he's able to put it through again. So the objective master at work, absolutely love that from them. Securing that overshield so crucial in getting this second cap.
2-0 in favour of Divine Mind at the moment, and Direwolves, I think they just let that one go rather than chasing it down and risking another flag being pulled. Still with FlexRainZ at the moment, just popped in a flag for those just tuning in. Stuck in the bar area and trying to make it a more even fight by taking down his own shields there, Hoots. And now he's hiding in the corner. He's going to, you know, don't worry about me, boys. I made a mistake. And now he's challenging Deano down bottom mid. Perfect shots. Fully redeeming himself from that potato nade there, Hoots.
Yeah, FlexRainZ was eating his own, feeding on his own dynamo grenade there, and then a bit of second breakfast coming up from the enemy shooting it up there as well. So copping a bit of damage, but manages to stay alive. Super crucial. Beastn, Beastn heading straight into the base here. You're right, Justin, super aggressive, 26 and 14 right now. So he's going to have a go at the objective run, but even just tossing it out causes distraction. You'll enable some of his teammates to start to come in through the palm and across the bar, as you see there. So this flag almost acts as a bit of bait, and now we have FlexRainZ saying, thanks for that, I'll start to run it. Does come into a bit of a confrontation here. The double doors, great use of the thruster, keeping that alive. That's only one dead though for Direwolf. So where are the rest right now? Looks like we might have 2 up in the lockers up here. FlexRainZ probably needs to turn around. They have been dropped though, so that's all good. This flag is just going to be stuck down at the double doors, but if he can get a kill here on Vampt and Bald, then he can maybe get in a position to run this, but I don't know if they are. They might have to give up on this, Justin. They were 2 down there. The flag's in a pretty precarious spot, and Direwolves look like they're swarming over it, getting the return there.
Yeah, Divine Mind, they've been playing really aggressively, but, you know, just not desperating that flag there. They're in a really comfortable position. They're 2 up currently, so they don't need to get too desperate and create any openings for Direwolves to run any flags. Now we're with Rated. He's 19 and 14 currently. The Caster's Curse is real. Vampt having a little bit of a rough game. He's 10 and 20, but he is getting up in the face of BZIIRK, but he shuts him down. Beastn, nice shots onto Zerkil. 2v1 situation. A very ambitious little peek there. He just wanted a little bit of information. It's a bit of a tease like, hey boys, I'm over here. I dare you to come over and face me 1v1. And now he's getting up in Zerkil's face, and those dynamo grenades coming. No! The team nade hurts. The team nade.
And he did so well to stay alive in that fight as well. And it was clearly the best intentions were there. Whoever it was that threw that dynamo grenade to help him out. Unfortunately, got to be careful. Those dynamo grenades do roll. We do have the flag coming out again though here for Divine Mind, trying to run this. FlexRainZ and Vampt end up trading. So a fair bit of death happening down around this bottom mid. I think we should be able to see Divine Mind at least be able to get it through the double doors. But that being said, we do have a flag pull coming from Direwolves now. So this is the first real flag attempt we have seen from Direwolves. They get the return, Deano and Bald. Just need to make sure where are Divine Mind. They have run down through bottom rockets and they're sitting down in the alleyway here, but a bit of a fumble from Bald. I'm assuming that wasn't intentional here with the...
Oh, no!
The team nades, Justin. What is going on? What is going... Yeah, suicide nades, my bad. What is going on with them?
I don't know. That was a crucial misstep there. They didn't have a lot of time on the clock anyway, but here's BZIIRK getting up in their face, applying pressure.
Flag return.
And flag return. That's going to be all she wrote, I think. And just quickly, FlexRainZ 29 and 9 currently. Direwolves fans at home. FlexRainZ raining on their parade a little bit there.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, that last flag, they needed to put that in, obviously missed it. FlexRainZ just shot out the lights towards the end.
And running so many flags,
He was running flags, and to be honest, he wasn't even, he wasn't slaying super hard at the start, but then we just saw the stats coming up there. Obviously just went on a tear in that last minute or two, but that was a big statement from Divine Mind, because to be honest, they went to a few 5-game series yesterday, but a lot of the times they look quite disappointing, but that was very emphatic. They didn't really put a foot wrong throughout that whole match there. And just looking at that, Beastn 30 and 18, FlexRainZ 29 and 9.
Look at BZIIRK, almost 19
assists. So hopefully he's happy with that. He's not raging too much. 61.47% accuracy as well, Justin.
Straight beaming BZIIRK there. Just putting damage down on the map, right? Assisting his teammates, but FlexRainZ.
Yeah.
Welcome to the gun show, 29 and 9, and so much objective work too.
I was going to say, don't forget the 2 caps, which he ran perfectly both times. So FlexRainZ, that is one of the really just great all-round performances across the bat there. Jumping into the replays here, and look, the slaying from the get-go really for Divine Mind was super strong, and that put them in these positions to run these flag caps just so cleanly, and they only really, I think, made about 3 or 4 pulls, so that's about a 50% conversion rate. Not bad on a map like this where we do see so many failed flag attempts all the time.
Yeah, they're certainly waiting for the opportunities, I think. A bit more composed than the Divine Mind that we saw yesterday. They've got the tilted tower and they've put it back up straight. Eyes on the prize, I think, a little bit, Hoots, and Divine Mind making quite a big statement off the bat, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. So when you're seeing Slaying performance coming out like that as well, and we head into a Slayer in the next game, you do have to feel confident. Now when you've got someone like Beastn who's just putting on a tear, but someone like FlexRainZ who is so objectively focused doing the same. So if he's going to turn it on like that in the next game, if you're a Direwolves player, you do have to be worried. But look, aside from that, they did manage to almost get that last flag at the end, and it was just a really unfortunate self-nade from, I think it was a Bald on the double doors with the spikes. So, you know, obviously by no means game over for them yet. They were just a really unlucky play away from putting one in there, and, you know, a 2-1's a lot different to a 2-0.
Yeah, credit to Direwolves, though. Like, the fact that they had that flag moving, there was really only about 30 seconds left on the clock. Their head was still in the game at that point. They weren't thinking, oh, you know, it's done. We'll never run 2 flags. They were still trying to get it through, and it was a little bit of a fumble, which is unfortunate. I mean, it would be really bad if they needed that flag to tie it up. Oh, God, yeah, I know. Luckily, they were probably going to end up losing that one anyway. But Direwolves, I think their head is in the game. But a Divine Mind, this is kind of what we expected the entire weekend. And I think Divine Mind's back.
So Deano, we spoke about just before we started that first game. Deano mentioned several times in that interview we had with him just before the series started that, you know, our vibes were bad and we just had a bad series. But then our vibes were good and we had a good series. You know, obviously when you aren't winning, you can be a little down in the dumps, but I think that becomes the question for them as well, is the mental game. You know, can they get back in the game here, mentally switch back on, put that one behind them, and then turn it around and try and come out strongly in this second game? Because to go down 2-0 in a best-of-5 series, that's when your backs really are up against the wall, and it is hard to come back. We do jump in to Slayer on Streets, straight into it, on with Zerkil. He had a bit of a rough game Slay-wise, Justin, in that last one, but he's going to be able to try to look to turn it around on this Slayer game on Streets.
And he's got that rifle stalking his prey there. Deano, first one to get a pick, and he's just nice overwatch over those spankers there. And Deano, I think he managed to scoop those up, already putting it to work, grabbing himself 1 kill, but he goes down as well. BZIIRK putting down covering fire the best that he can. Currently rated with 1 rocket and just shoots it straight into the wall. 0 points for that one rated. And now chasing down balls, he falls. And look at this collapse from Divine Mind. Super aggressive on these spawners of into the wolf den, going in. Zerkil there holding down the fort the best that he can, but rated backing off a little bit. But Beastn's already kind of committed. He can use a little backup here, Hoots,
yeah, Beastn did overcommit a little bit there, but he has managed to stay alive. Really impressive here, taken down as soon as I say that. Perfect. But yeah, BZIIRK starting super strong. Glad we are jumping on board with him. 4 kills, 2 assists, only 1 death. And this, you know, they were collapsing really strongly into that tram at the start, Justin, but weren't able to actually end up wiping Direwolves. So they've finally done it now, it looks like. Direwolves are all out of there, spawning back over on PD side around A as well. BZIIRK, he can sniff it, smelling blood in the water, starting to press in. And look at this. Look at the aggression, Justin. He's got that AR and he's trying to use it to just can't get it on Deano. Great shots from Deano there. I'm going to assume that was probably a perfect there, but only 4 shots taking him down. And look, they're doing pretty well to hold their own here. Divine Mind out to a pretty small lead at the start, but you know, still early game.
Very early game so far. They're neck and neck currently, which we kind of expected maybe Divine Mind to go off to a really early lead, considering how hard they were outslaying Direwolves in the previous series. But it looks like Direwolves have just hit the reset button and gone, boys, let's focus on this next series. No more silly deaths, no more double negatives, because we are going into a Slayer. We cannot afford to give those ones up. And Deano doing well. You could see the cogs were turning. He was calculating what he wanted to do to help out his teammates. And another teammate going into BZIIRK, but it doesn't matter. He's able to clutch that one up and slave balls from FlexRainZ there. And only 1 point the difference right now, Hoots. It's very neck and neck.
I think Beastn might have managed to grab rockets there. I can see on the heads up, he's starting to move in. Another nade onto ball there. He's taken down. I think we do have rockets in the hand of Divine Mind. I'm not 100% sure. Beastn was just dropped, so maybe rockets are down, but I think it looked like... Oh, no, there they are, right there. So perfectly used there by Deano. Walks in, grabs and strays. Still has one to play with as well. So rockets weren't even utilized when they were in the hands of Divine Mind at the start there. You're going to get a nice flank here moving over to Cafe, and he can put a long range one up against that wall. Chooses not to. He's probably going to need to back down, try and stay alive. He's got these rockets in hand. He doesn't want to lose them and hand them over. Very smart here. Moving over to Arcade side with those rockets. And if he can pick up a kill here on FlexRainZ, although he has no aim, he's going to run out. Needs to back up. I like that. Even if that wasn't going to connect, he at least wasted one to not hand over. Gets lucky. FlexRainZ ends up challenging, secures a rocket, takes a trade. When he had no shields for so long, that's a great result.
Yeah, he really rotated around to try and get his shields back, but he just couldn't. Now 5 kills the difference. Divine Mind are starting to eke out a little bit of a fragile lead, but we haven't even hit the halfway point, which is, we know when Slayers hit that halfway mark, the burners just get ignited and it really starts to heat up. Vampt going in to clean up. Beastn goes down. Seconds there. Double kill for him. Triple is over in the corner. If you can hear him stomping around in there, Vampt. But no, BZIIRK being very sneaky here. Setting a trap, laying it down, and he's popped out. No, he grabs himself boards. There's BZIIRK again. Double kill for Vampt. That's back-to-back double kills for the young gun himself.
Great run, and especially given he had a bit of a rough game in the last one, to be able to turn it around so quickly, that's a really good sign for Direwolves. And look at that, Justin. During that run there, they've managed to bring it back to just a 1-kill gap. As I say that, all tied up now, and that was single-handedly from Vampt. Back-to-back double kills and a lot of aggression.
A lot of aggression, and you got to love those multis as well. Now with Deano cross-map shots. And I think that Spanker is about to pop as
I
well.
think
It's there, up for grabs, so someone's going to have to get their hands on the double tube.
Oh.
But that stick from Rated, very unfortunate timing, and another suicide rocket there, and just dropping left and right. So many X's in the kill feed right now, Hoots. Very frantic stuff. Zerkil trying to scamper away with that rocket. I'm not sure how he survived that. That looked pretty direct to me, but I'm very old, so maybe my eyesight's getting a bit blurry, Hoots.
Beastn somehow managed to find an overshield on the map, it looks like, even though it doesn't spawn on here, because I have no idea how he survived that rocket. That should kill you every day of the week. And then on the other side, Vampt, you saw when he had the rockets before, he was probably aiming a little bit too low on the ground. Use the wall behind you for the splash damage rather than shooting it right at your feet. That's what ended up turning them over there. Beastn having a bit of a more quiet one since the last game, only 7 kills. He is equal lowest on his team, but it is still a pretty consistent effort across the board. I do love FlexRainZ, 8 assists though as well, Justin. So the aggression coming in from Beastn here with that Bulldog suits his from BZIIRK, sorry, suits his play perfectly when he, that kind of aggression, being able to get right up in the thick of it. Shots on Deano, going to back up, very smart move here. He doesn't have much team support though, Justin, so needs to stay alive, get those shields back before you make another push. Perfectly timed here.
Yeah, and one thing that we did was we highlighted damage per death on BZIIRK, and I think the reason why his damage per death was a touch lower is just because how aggressive he is. He likes to get up in pieces, people's faces, basically nose to nose, close quarter combat, and that's probably why he might drop a little bit more deaths, but that aggression opens up the map for the rest of his team and allows players like Beastn and FlexRainZ to drop big numbers and not drop too many deaths. But Divine Mind, they do have a 4-point lead currently, getting to the tail end of this game. Only 10 kills to go before Divine Mind can put this one in the bag, but Direwolves, plenty of opportunity left. They're really only one round of slaves behind
These rockets are huge, and I think Direwolves did pick them up. Yeah, it was Deano. So Deano was causing a lot of a ruckus up there on top of the PD, and he's now managed to get these rockets, and this is huge. Getting this double kill, they needed this, and look how quickly they've managed to bring it back. Only a 2-kill gap now. It was one just a second ago. Deano a bit out of position, though. Manages to get back, and he really needs to conserve his life here. Only a few more to play with, and it is getting so tight. We're seeing now the team's really starting to just hang back. Deano loves this spot. He was poking at a BZIIRK before, but he went for this rocket push, just hanging up here, trying to keep them away, made the rush to the rockets. But are we going to wait again? Are we just going to see him poking away, waiting, holding this position until the next rockets come? They're not up for a while, so they are going to have to make some moves, because right now they are down by a kill. They're the ones who need to start to get some picks.
Neither of these teams want to be the first one to drop a pick.
Exactly.
Only 1 kill the difference right now. Direwolves have basically tied things up after Divine Mind was leading throughout the entire game. Rated, smelling out these players in the PD department, and there's still 1 kill the difference. They got a pick each, and Rated going in, sees Deano wisely backing down as his shields go, but Zerkil ain't managing to get that cleaner. We're all tied up here. Beastn putting some shots down. His shields are flashing. He's got BZIIRK as his buddy system here. So many blue dots right there in front of him. Either team, it can go either way, Hoots. And Beastn, someone's up in his face, and he's able to get him, but the trade death from the grave.
So that's 44 now. Direwolves have taken the lead, and these rockets, they're not coming up yet, but they are in a position to get them pretty well. They do manage to trade again, so you'll take that every day of the week. They keep the 1-kill gap, only 5 to go for them, 6 for Divine Mind, but rockets, but shotgun here in the hands of Zerkil, and you know he's going to have to look to push around here on flex, backs up. So look, even though he has that shotgun and can get up in the face, he doesn't want to even risk it slightly. Gets a really good pick there on Rated. 47 all, Justin. Take it from here.
47 all, neck and neck. Zerkil with that Bulldog. BZIIRK has him against the ropes, grabs that pick. 2 more kills for Divine Mind. It is neck and neck, everybody. FlexRainZ shooting down the map. Those rockets, a little bit of bait, but Divine Mind, they got away with it. BZIIRK full shields, 2 spankers to play with. He wants this game over and done with. Only needs 2 picks. Manages to get 1 with rocket. 1 more in the tube. That's going to be it. Double kill for BZIIRK, shutting down the Direwolves. They almost had it, but a little bit too strong, the Divine Mind boys.
The rockets there, the absolute difference, mate. Great call to finish that as well, Justin. Those rockets were the defining factor at the end there. And there was just that real mistake there from Direwolves not to be covering that entrance up to the tram. They left him completely uncontested. They did have a player, I didn't see who it was, they did have a player up on the B balcony, but he was more focused down towards PD, wasn't putting shots across, and those rockets just, he obviously didn't even get the kill with the first one, so they could have cleaned him up if they got 1 or 2 shots on him going over there, but look at that. BZIIRK, 18 kills, 10 deaths for Divine Mind, so he was the big winner in that side. And just across the board there, it was just a very even performance for them. But catch your breath. They go up 2-0 now. They're down the barrel of staying in this tournament. Meanwhile, Direwolves, 1 loss and they're gone.
Yeah, I think they were starting to get a little bit scared.
Yeah.
They were shaking in their wolf booties a little bit. Like, not even putting any eyes onto those rockets, and then the BZIIRK just comes in, scoops them up for free, and able to push solo in. Very ambitious from Ali, by the way. Just pushing in with the rockets. He just didn't waste any time, and I think he knew that Direwolves was, you know, hodling in the corner. They're holding each other like they're in a bomb shelter trying to stay alive. It's just ridiculous. And Ali going in there and just ending that game while they're a little bit scared, I think.
Yeah, it was super smart because it was sort of understanding the vibe that the game was in at that point, where it was we can't afford any deaths. We need to be super conservative with our lives. So chances are people aren't going to be running out in the open. People aren't going to expect people to run out of the open, even though those rockets are up. So he just takes that advantage, sprints out, grabs them, and it was just the defining moment of that game. It's ballsy, it's really courageous, but when it pays off, you look like a genius.
Yeah, Divine Mind, they read that perfectly.
Yeah.
I think. The fact that they had no pressure, they're probably like, yeah, they're hiding, they're scared. We can do whatever we want. But if Zerk was no shields, he probably just would have baited it out and was like, boys, I'm just going to watch this side of the map. Someone will walk by eventually and I'll have a present for them. But it didn't pan out that way. Divine Mind, but they go up 2-0 in the series. Direwolves, their back's up against the wall.
Yeah.
One more map, they're gone skis. Their tournament lives are over and Divine Mind can keep moving forward. So the Direwolves boys, they need to pick things up a little bit.
And sometimes in terms of team morale, a loss of that kind of, you know, what was it, 50-48 or something, a loss that close can actually be more damaging than if you get staked. Because you're just so frustrated. It was, you look back and think, oh God, one play that I screwed up was the difference maker in us losing that game. So you really do start to worry, get down in the dumps. I want to go back to what we heard Deano saying before the series started about the good vibes being there. When you lose a 50-47, it's hard to get the good vibes going.
And like getting in your own head is like one play. It's kind of like, you know, you sit in the bottom of the shower and think about some awkward thing you did as a
Royale
moment.
Exactly.
Yep. Some awkward thing that you did as a teenager and go, why did I do that? So Direwolves, maybe that's in their future tomorrow or maybe tonight. But still, their tournament lives are still here. They're still with us, and we are going to be launching into this next game very shortly. But they need to do something soon. And Divine Mind, the thing with them is they're very momentum-based, right?
Yeah.
When they have the wind in their sails, they're the Black Pearl. They're the fastest ship on the high seas. And who can stop them? I don't know.
And meanwhile, though, the pressure for Divine Mind comes out in that win this game and your cash prize is guaranteed to go up significantly. So the sheets are on the block for them to take, but that adds pressure as well. And when there's that pressure there, the hands get a bit sweaty, the thumbs are slipping off the sticks, you make a few stupid calls, stupid moves, and things can flip. It's, you know, you see even a lot of times in a game of tennis, for example, you know, you're on match point and you end up double faulting or something like that. Those kind of things can certainly happen in Halo as well. So they need to keep their eyes on the prize. They've won 2 games, not dominating in any sense really, especially that last Slayer game. So they've got to be prepared for a Direwolves comeback as well.
What was great about Divine Mind looking at those stats, right? We saw Flex, he dropped almost triple positive.
Yeah.
And then the next game, he went a little bit negative, but his assists were way higher. So they're, you know, reversing those roles. It means that if one person is faltering a little bit, someone else can step in and have a really nice game. And that's how you have a consistent team, right? You can't just rely on one person going off. And if they don't go off, you don't win. And it seems that Divine Mind, they're swapping around. That inconsistency, it doesn't matter because they have someone that can fill in the shoes of any position.
Yeah, I do love FlexRainZ. Has just been a joy to watch in the last couple of days. So, like we said, we are just waiting for this game to get ready. I think the Direwolves guys are just cracking a few Monster energy drinks, getting amped up, trying to get this energy back in. The caffeine's flowing through the veins as we do get ready for this, what could be decisive Game 3. We might actually bring the stats back up just while we are waiting to have a look at this, because we did run through them pretty quickly. But one thing that we kind of did miss, Justin, take a look on the red team there, Balls, 4 and 15. I didn't even notice that in the kill feed. That's a rough day at the office.
Yeah,
that's the COVID impact.
Yeah, you don't want that. You really don't want that. That's really really unfortunate from the bald unit there. But when you have a devastating loss like that, sometimes it can swing back the other way.
Vampt, prime example.
Vampt's a prime example, and the pendulum, it swings both ways. And Ball, you know, he's a very humble gentleman, very polite. He probably was like, boys, sorry about that one, that's my bad. And the next one, he just like, I'll show you that I deserve this slot. And he'll bounce back. So looking to Balds in this next one, I think.
One interesting thing as we do load into this next game, his damage actually, I just noticed there, was in the 2000s. So super low, which to me says just out of position all the time. So wasn't in the right positions to be able to even find enemies. His damage taken wasn't necessarily too much higher than anyone else, but the damage given just means he wasn't getting in the right spots to put damage on the other team. So we do jump into Oddball Game 3 on Recharge. As we said before, Justin, Divine Mind win this. They progress through to the series. Direwolves, they don't go home because they already are home, but they stay home and they're out of the tournament.
Yeah, they turn off the old Xboxes and stare at the floor for a little bit and contemplate the mistakes they've made through the series. But we're still here. We are loading in Divine Mind in versus Direwolves Oddball on Recharge. Divine Mind one map away from taking away the series. Direwolves, they're up against the ropes, and we're on board with BZIIRK, putting so much against aggression there. 2v1 situation, backing them both down.
Love it.
And he just goes out, shells one shot, picks up one kill, gets rewarded with that camo, and now he's the sneakiest little person on the map.
Yeah, and look, he's got them pretty much dead to rights here as well, so they should pick up 2 quick kills. So I think one of them managed to actually get away from Direwolves there, but that just shows the camo means you can take that jump, which often puts you in a difficult position, but gets up there uncontested. Balds does spot him there, so he backs off. Very smart, conserve the camo, but he does take shots there. And I don't know about that one, Justin, taking shots on Deano, because all that does is let Deano know there's a camo guy in bottom 8.
A little bit. It is information, and information is the currency of Halo. So maybe perhaps giving a free handout to Deano there, but it hasn't mattered too much just yet. He's still alive, still slaying out. And, you know, BZIIRK, he's just been going for kills while his boys have already racked up 23 points. They're on quite a run at the moment.
Beastn with this shock rifles, bad news for Direwolves as well. We have seen what he can do with it, and he's in a perfect spot to looking down all across the map from this A catwalk, drops down here, and they are starting to shift the ball over to blue, it looks like. FlexRainZ, the guy who we saw was the absolute ball king, is picking this up the whole way through as well in this. There are 4 dead for Divine Mind though, so Direwolves now in a position to try and get set up for a ball, but as we expect, FlexRainZ, the super smart objective player, managed to play ball it, so whilst they do go 4 down Divine Mind, Direwolves can't convert it into a single point.
Yeah, and I think they were opting to apply pressure to those spawners. You saw all the Direwolves boys come up in one pack, and they applied the pressure off that spawn. Deano's still alive. He's just moving around the map. I love Deano's rotations. He just, you know, he'll apply some pressure, then he'll move and change angles. He does drop there, and Beastn with that camo now. So many Divine Mind guys down bottom mid. Here's Zerkil getting up in the face. What a critical kill. Massive kill coming out of Zerkil there to shut down that camo player. Gets rewarded with the Mangler. The Direwolves guys responding. They're getting some ball time too, Hoots. Not too far behind.
That double from Zerkil there took out camo, obviously, and put Divine Mind 3 down. And that's why you see Direwolves now starting to come back. Only about 14, 15 seconds down from this lead. And they've got a really solid setup here in A, it looks like. 4 up or 3 up now, but with this Mangler in the hands of Zerkil, he can just use this doorway perfectly, peek when he needs to, but knowing, unfortunately, gets a bit too aggressive there and probably should have just conserved his life a little bit more, because Divine Mind now come in and start to overrun A and look to get a bit of control here themselves.
Yeah, Divine Mind, their lead was dwindled down a little bit, but they have got the ball and they've got a nice setup too.
Yeah, this is big.
And I love this angle from Beastn too. He can see when that push is going to come. He just needs to hold down this position, but he's left his post a little bit, but it does look like he's looking for the flankers as FlexRainZ rotates that ball up into gold. And this rotation, you can rack up so many points just as people try to chase you down. Doesn't get touched on that cross there. That was interesting, but Vampt is waiting for him. Really unfortunate, the call out. Maybe FlexRainZ didn't have all the information. Lapse in communication, I think, from Divine Mind there.
Yeah, FlexRainZ, the Marshall and Lynch of this Divine Mind squad. There's a shout out to the American viewers. The Aussies probably don't know what I'm talking about, but perfect use of the ball running it there. We do now have Direwolf set up in top goal, but willing to toss it out. So has the call come through, Justin, that someone's come? Yeah, it has. So we do see the push here coming from Divine Mind. It is shut down very easily, though, it looks like. FlexRainZ with the sword, though. He's causing a ruckus, and he manages! He ducked the last shot and manages to stay alive with that sword. The nades come in and clean him up. But he single-handedly stopped that whole setup and forced the play ball down into the battery area.
You could see with Deano, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap.
Yeah,
and then just straight in and taking him out. Double kill for Bald. We did talk about triple kill and the killing spree. We talked about the fact that he needed to step up into this game, and he's certainly done that, racking up a very tasty multi-kill there and the killing spree. Turning up for his squad, now moving in to get a collapse onto the gold area there. That ball has reset. It's sitting there ready to go, but no one wants to go after it. It's like, you know, I'm not going out there, bro. You go out there.
Direwolves are down 2-0 in this series. They need to win this first round. Let's jump into a listening to see how they try and peg some momentum back to take this first round out.
Hayden.
Hey, Ledge, I can't help you.
Glass, I can't.
I've got him better.
Lost me, Hayden, my bad.
No, bro. No.
That's alright.
I've got right now weak.
I hope in a second, bro.
I've got a really weak team.
Pipes, I think. Nice on.
Another one on me at
Spawn
goal.
A left, I spawn A left.
I can't see glass, there's nothing glass.
Got two, 3 there, 3 there. Can we get ball?
Yeah, I'm gonna start
bring it to me on.
long, I'm blocking long.
Bring it to me, ring on.
Tower. I'm not watching anything.
Yeah. On me, he's got sword.
Oh, yeah, C stairs, they're gonna push long,
Yeah, 2 at left, man. One's we can ring on, there's 2 there though.
I got one at long.
I want to ring. Ring's really weak, rated on needles, guys. We have
One shot, sword.
Watch out, bottom gold on. Oh, dang.
Yeah, and pipes as well. Pipes going to gold.
Yeah, bell edge, shock.
There we go, pipes going, guys. I've got boys.
Top gold as well, guys.
One shot batteries.
Top gold as well.
That's what I hope batteries. The batteries
I got
Mid-bridge on,
mid-bridge.
mid-bridge.
Switch is weak.
Mid-bridge weak. One shot stacks, there's 2 there. 2 stacks.
I'm gonna shoot them all.
2 at stacks, another one there,
I saw these.
one tower.
One tower.
Alright, stat, you gotta
Gold,
start.
one gold.
They've already got ball, they're throwing it up.
Oh, so during that listen in, Justin, we just didn't really see either team be able to get any real kind of, you know, setup around the ball there. It was a scrap down around batteries this whole time. And we've just had Divine Mind seem to control this top gold area. So that's been a real pain for Direwolves. When the ball was down around the batteries, every time they made a push for it, they just had the fire raining down on them. But do you know what? Direwolves, they really need to start to get back. They've only got 50 seconds on the clock left. We do know once ball gets picked up, that countdown timer does stop. So right now, they're starting to bring this lead back. They've got a little bit of a way to go, but it's by no means insurmountable.
No, and those points rack up so quickly, Hoots.
Look at it now.
They're almost going to be able to tie it up. Divine Mind, they're not going to be able to formulate a push anytime soon. As I say that, the pressure does come, but Balls with that sword hiding around the corner like an invisible Sangheili, ready to slice you up. And Direwolves, they have taken the lead in this round. FlexRainZ does get a pick in the kill feed, though. And here comes Bald picking up one of his own. Deano tossing that ball out. Very smart, but oh my god, Beastn comes in and just schools Bald there. He had the sword and everything, and he smacked him anyway.
I love the teamwork with the toss up there. FlexRainZ just says, I'm the guy that holds the ball, toss it up to me. And when the way this oddball setup works is you only need one strong setup when you're only about 20, 30 seconds away to win the game. The push coming down through long hole, but I don't know why FlexRainZ is running it towards there. He should probably look to get it. He's gone the wrong way. I mean, they were collapsed in from both sides, but why not just stay and hold it up at gold where Vampt is? They only need 20 seconds to go now, Direwolves. FlexRainZ, the call out probably just hadn't come to them that the push was coming through long. He ran straight into it and was then out of position to get pinched. Only about 10 seconds now left for Direwolves. Divine Mind have one push left in them, but this sword with Deano here is huge. That's going to put a massive stop there to BZIIRK, and it looks like they're going to be able to take out this opening round. Absolutely huge, Justin. That's exactly what they needed, being down 2-0. They take the first round in this oddball match to keep themselves alive.
Yeah, I think some virtual fist bumps across the Direwolves roster. I think they're one up in this oddball game so far. FlexRainZ on board with him, putting some shots down, but he is instantly backed off. He can barely even get 2 bursts out there, and now his eyes over that camo, going to be such a critical thing. Deano hiding in the corner. BZIIRK catches him off guard, though. Now Flex able to grab this camo, but the pressure does come. Vampt with the cleanup, taking him out, and I love this. Vampt's like, oh, we're going to watch your back, bro. You grab that camo. Shields are flashing, currently grabbing that repulsor. Swords there for the taking, but Vampt's like, I don't need that. We'll leave that one there for later, leaving it on ice. Couple of little back smacks into Beastn there, but the help does come from FlexRainZ going in, but Vampt's positioning, able to get the one up onto Flex. Deano now with that camo, he slammed it onto his chest, grabs that gun off the rack, and he trades down. What a critical kill for Beastn to pick up there, Hoots.
Yeah, big. You had to take him out, particularly when you've got a camo guy with Mangler. As soon as he picked that up, great move to take him down, not letting him run around, because that's someone who can break a setup and help set up one for themselves. Absolutely huge take him down there. We do have Deano now going in a one-on-one with BZIIRK around this gold. Smart move from BZIIRK to back down there, but the support does look like it's going to come through from long haul. So Divine Mind starting to set up there to stop a push. Beastn down below. BZIIRK pushing in at the top, trades with Deano. There is going to be another fight through long haul. Beastn gets dropped, double team there by Direwolf. So the push to long haul coming, looking to get us set up on this top gold so they can try and grab ball from down in batteries and hold it up there. It looks like, but Raided's going to have something to say about that, Justin. Set up perfectly on this top gold area and stopping any kind of setup that Direwolves are trying to create.
But no ball time yet, Hoots.
No,
They're
it's
all being little
point.
scaredy cats jumping down there, grabbing that ball. Raided picking up one, maybe the opportunity to pounce down there and grab one, but Bald's holding him back from being able to pick that one up, and Raided going in, thinking that he needs to sort out that player. Ball just still sitting there. They're concentrating so hard on map control, only able to get one pick at a time using that repulsor. Fantastic to block off all those grenades. Another pick there, and Raided just backing up very slowly. Double kill for him. They were just waiting for 2 picks. Now they pounce, jumping onto it, and now Divine Mind's putting some points onto the board.
Yeah, but because it took them so long to pick this up, this is going to be a game where the time clock comes as a factor, right? We might not see either team make 100. We've seen this happen a lot of times when teams really delay picking that ball off at the start. So it took us about half the round almost for someone to pick the ball up. And right now, Divine Mind not really in a super strong spot, although FlexRainZ here just providing a great distraction. I think he was weak and still managed to win that BR fight. You don't really expect a player to be in that corner there, but FlexRainZ very sneaky. We were saying during that listen-in, he's a real sneaky bastard.
He really is. And all the Divine Mind boys seem to be sneaky little bees. In each corner, Hoots. They're just hiding around. It's like someone's going to walk past and I'll take them out. And they are putting points onto the board as well. Throwing it out there, baiting that ball a little bit. Here comes Deano, the challenging. Misses both of those sticks. That's really unfortunate from him. And Deano, no hesitation at all. Time to get some ball time for the Direwolf squad. And getting in a really nice position. He's going to be able to play that ball as soon as that Divine Mind aggression comes in to break their setup. Vampt is up in their faces, though, looking at the kill feed. He's currently 8-4 at the moment, so having a really nice game here, Hoots. Looking for players. He does have some pressure coming in. He does get shut down, but that ball sitting there, I think it may have just been played, so full reset. But Direwolves, they're trailing a little bit right now. It's nothing to worry about too much, but they can't afford the Divine Mind to get much more of a lead. There's only 2 minutes left on the clock.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the deal was with the play ball back there for Divine Mind about 30 seconds earlier. I don't know if they thought that because the game time is kind of low already, they build up a 30-second lead, that maybe they just start to slay out and ignore the ball and let the timer dip down. In my mind, it's too early for that. So I'm not saying that is what their call was, but that is what it looked like because it was completely uncontested when they chose to play ball it. Bit of a strange call. Meanwhile, we do have Direwolves who have picked the ball up. And look, Justin, they're about to take the lead back. They're moving over to top A or bottom A, it looks like. And they have a good setup here as well. I do like that Deano is over at top gold. He's just moved to bottom gold now. But if he can get a kill here, hold that top gold position, he looks across the whole map and is able to stop them coming through from blue.
Yeah, he can. Direwolves pretty set up. They've just gone to the campsite. The tents are set up. The fires are going. Beers are coming out of the esky, and they're racking up points while doing it. And Deano with that slice and dice as well, but the repulsor comes in. Not enough, though. Beastn heads up play, but not able to keep himself alive currently. And Deano just holding down the fort over here, but BZIIRK coming through the gold area as well. But Deano looks like he has a present for him. There it is, but another repulsor comes in, and he's in very big trouble and shut down. You You know, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you. Now with Raided and Divine Mind, the Direwolves managed to take the lead in that instance, but Divine Mind, they are tying things up once again. It's neck and neck currently, and Direwolves, they only need to take out this round, and then they can grab themselves a map, and Divine Mind, they need to get back-to-back oddball rounds here, Hoots, and big effort with all things tied up.
Yeah, they are doing this really well, though. Just neutralizing Deano's 2 sword attempts was so big then. It was 2 what should have been certain deaths, completely foiled. And look at this, as Baldy's starting to push through to top 8, FlexRainZ, he's always got his head on a swivel. He knows when to start moving, and he's moved it straight away. Look where he is already. He's down at bottom blue. Deano's coming in. There'll be a bit of a fight here, and I think FlexRainZ actually managed to hang on to it. Great work hiding behind the crate there and taking the trade, Beastn. Perfect work. FlexRainZ was killed, but he has playballed it. This time, though, Direwolves ready to pick up the playball straight onto it. They've already got it at top gold.
They have, and BZIIRK with those perfect shots as well, repulsing up to apply some pressure. Then BZIIRK changing targets, going, I've got to sort out that one-shot player first, but he has been back down, hasn't got a lot of backup currently, but they're letting him live there, and BZIIRK, he can now make a push into this ball carrier and using that repulsor to back him off. The jiggle peak is real. A grenade comes out, and that player who's scampered away is like, nah, that's Ali, I'm out of here. Bald's doing his best to stay alive,
well done.
And Ali coming out the better in that situation. Divine Minds with that ball. They only need about 30 points left, but look at the clock, Hoots. There's only 47 seconds left. So if it gets really scrappy, they can just run down the clock. But Divine Mind, they are going on a bit of a massive run here. They might tie things up. Direwolves, last chance to shut Divine Mind down.
BZIIRK did 2 great things there. He stayed alive and he stopped Direwolves from getting the ball and let that time tick down. Only 5 seconds roughly now to go for Divine Mind to bring this home. I don't know if they're going to be in any position to stop this, the Direwolves. They're going to take this second round. Have I spoken to it? No, they did get it. So he was killed right at the last second there. But they now take it 1-all. This is it. Everything for Divine Mind now to play for. If they take this round, they move through to the next. Direwolves, they head home. But, geez, that was just... I love that play there from BZIIRK. Just causing an absolute nuisance to everyone around him and making Direwolves completely forget about the objective.
For those just tuning in, you are watching the ANZ Super Elimination Semi-Finals. Whoever manages to win this series is going to progress, and big money on the line, and whoever loses does tuck tail and run and pack up their bags and going home. BZIIRK now looking over that camo there. Deano swoops in and grabs it and looks like he's going to get away scot-free as well. That's going to be so critical for Direwolves. He grabs that Mangler. That ball is being baited a little bit there. FlexRainZ doing everything he can to keep the Direwolves boys off that. The assists come in. That's 2 dead for Divine Mind. So Direwolves poised to go on a bit of a run here.
Yeah, Deano needs to just, at this point, yeah, I get what he's trying to do and moving the ball, and he has managed to get through for a setup, but at this point, drop it. You've still got the camo, right? You've got a ball in a good position. Your team can get set up. You're better off to start putting shots in. Let someone else hold it when you've got the camo. The camo is now gone, so kind of doesn't matter anymore, but I would like to have seen Deano potentially look to hand that off to one of his other teammates because he did have them around him, but good use of the rotation here. Moving to blue, the sword is still there. Teams often opting not really to pick that up. It's a bit of a last resort sometimes, but they're in a good position here. I like this. They're covering the hole down below. Raided is starting to push up above though, so we're going to wait for the play ball. Gets repulsed, manages to stay on the map. 2 guys, no shields around him, getting super aggressive here. Pushes in, unfortunately, doesn't get the kill with all that effort. He had no team help around him, Justin.
No, it was a 2v1 situation, doing everything that he can, but that ball was played, but it's instantly back over there, and FlexRainZ and the sword guard, the elite prestige guard there holding things down, ready to wart onto Deano. There he is, he goes down. Little rat in the corner, killing spree for FlexRainZ, and now that ball in hand.
So
doesn't
smart.
hesitate, it's just like
so
whoop,
smart.
Straight out, yeets it out of there.
Even the ball was in the air and he caught it and just tossed it straight off. That is just...
Alley-oop.
He is right now, honestly, from what we've seen, to me, he is the best objective player in ANZ. Is that too big of a statement to make?
Oh, we'll have to wait and see. Might meet the Chiefs in the grand finals. But Zerkil has got that camo, Hoots. So good opportunity for Direwolves to take control of this game. game. We are basically neck and neck currently. Yes, Divine Mind has the ball, but they're really only one set of a run of points in front currently. And here comes the push from Direwolves. There's a trade there. FlexRainZ in a little bit of trouble. He gets called out. The assist comes in, and now Zerkil in a good position to grab that ball. He has got Vampt to watch his back, and Bald's down, and Beastn, and you see raided through the walls there. FlexRainZ poking up, and look at this. They're all tied up once again, Hoots.
Yeah, it's a good angle there from Zerkil, just keeping an eye on that top A catwalk. Vampt with that sword at the bottom, he's going to be holding down any pushes from that as well. So then they really just need to worry about a push through Turbine, but we do have Deano here running through to gold as well. So this is a good setup here. They've managed to keep them on their toes. They've got the sword, tight corridors from Vampt. Look at this. He's going to get FlexRainZ again, pushes in, manages to get the kill. He is dropped, so that the trade effectively does come through. Sword down. This is where Divine Mind need to start to push in with this sword neutralized to try and get some ball control back.
Direwolves with a small lead at the moment.
Yep.
They're poised to take this game out. Divine Mind, if they can bring things back, they send the Direwolves home. But Deano has something to say about that, putting some shots down onto Raider to back him off. But he does fall, peeking out a little bit too much. BZIIRK in the cleanup there, now raided with his gold push grip, smacking that commando into his hands as well. He's got great positioning here. Zerkil, here's the call out coming in, and I love this rotation, Hoots. He raided, he just got out of there. He doesn't want to make himself the first pick onto the map, and raided, you can tell he's just watching every angle that he can. He's, you know, head on a swivel. That pressure is coming in, and Divine Minds, they're putting points onto the board. 64 points to 47. Currently, Direwolves, they need to do something soon if they want to keep their tournament lives alive.
Love that by Raided. He didn't need to be racking up kills there. He just needed to be poking and causing a distraction. He was doing both perfectly. FlexRainZ plays the ball out here right into Deano's hands, and Deano looks like he is heading straight to blue with that ball. Balled with the camo, so this is what he can do now. Big, running around the bottom middle area, cause a ruckus, shots on Beastn. Beastn should get called out. He's taken down, but he's taken down as well. So that camo is neutralized relatively quickly. They do have a semi-decent setup here. I'd like to see a little bit more support around Deano if possible, because there are so many angles to attack this blue area from, but they are starting to bring this lead back. Deano plays it off, so clearly the intel's come through that he's being pushed. He was only pushed by one player though, so I don't know if that's really necessary. We saw the rest of the players were still hanging around batteries.
Yeah, and Deano,
he handed it right to them.
He handed it right to them, and the fact that he was putting pot shots down on BZIIRK, he had the buffer, he had so much time to rack up some points, but now Divine Mind, they got a tasty little lead here, and all the momentum as well, and here comes Zerkil to help out Balls to shut down BZIIRK, but BZIIRK goes huge, taking them out, and they currently have a nice lead now on board with Beastn. He's got that Mangler in hand as well. The Divine Mind collapse coming into that ball. The Balls running for dear life, trying to keep their tournament lives aligned. Vampt able to get a pick in the kill feed, but here comes Beastn with that Mangler to ruin their days. And look at this, Ball doing everything he can. He sorts him out straight away. He's ankle breaker there, and they're very close to tying things up. Ball holding back two players, 2v1 situation currently. BZIIRK getting up in his face, shutting him down. FlexRainZ, the objective player so far in this game, grabbing that, and they only are 15 points away from sending Direwolves home.
Yeah, that was absolutely huge then. Ball did everything he could to stay alive in that hole, but look at FlexRainZ just trying to run it away. He has actually run straight into Deano, I believe. Deano ends up getting dropped. Beastn, good work picking up that kill on him. He does have no shield, so backs down, hides in this corner where we've seen them hiding a lot, Justin. Ball is still up in top gold, and Direwolves starting to score again. They don't actually have much of a lead, Divine Mind, so they need to make sure they can try and get a setup here for this final push, right? 10 seconds left. Grenades coming in everywhere, just stays alive in gold. I like this rotation. Knows his teammates are around A. 3 seconds left. It looks like Divine Mind is going to be in a position to win this one. Staying alive in the Elim semis, Justin. They send the Direwolves home 3-0.
Yeah, sending the Wolves packing. Unfortunately for them, but Divine Mind, they had a rough day yesterday, Hoots, but they're showing up to play. They've tweaked everything, a little bit of oil in the hinges. They've calmed down the tilt just a little bit, and they're here to play, eyes on the prize, and Direwolves didn't know what hit them.
Yeah, there was just one or two errors at the end there. We saw that play ball from Deano where I think he was in a position to keep holding it. In fact, he just played it off. Clearly the wrong intel came through. Having a look at the kills here was BZIIRK on 39, I think, was the leader there, putting out just a ton of shots across 12,962 damage. Meanwhile, though, on the other side for the Direwolves, they had 2 players on 12k as well, so a lot of damage coming out. But I think the key there was just smart objective play, primarily through FlexRainZ.
Yeah, look, but FlexRainZ, objectively, he got a lot of kills, Hoots. 35 kills and 17 assists as well. But Divine Mind just too strong, putting down Direwolves like Old Yeller.
So, boys, over on the couch, 3-0 to start our day here on Championship Sunday. We haven't really seen too many 3-0s, but geez, one at the start, and that was a big statement from Divine Mind.
Yeah, big statement indeed is the right words to use here from the lads of Divine Mind. We talked about them trying to cement themselves as the top 2 in our region, and this is a way for it to start out. Josh, you're correct to start out the day, so you're certainly pretty happy about that one. But commiserations to the Direwolves as well.
Yeah, the Direwolves, they put up a really good fight. It did go about as I expected. Divine Mind, they had a chip on their shoulder and something to prove after the loss against Immunity yesterday. I must say, though, fairly close games, Bluey.
Yeah, fairly close games. Really impressed with how the Direwolves performed. I didn't think it would be as big. Face the Chiefs.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, as we look towards that, we are setting ourselves up for now a good Championship Sunday, ladies and gentlemen, because we are looking at this with Divine Mind coming in 3-0, Josh, setting themselves up for a whole lot of hot movement going in towards this elimination final where they can try and punch their ticket in towards the grand final. I'm excited to see what they can do for the rest of today. They've got themselves an extra $2,000 in the base kitty as well, and that means that now when we are looking towards these guys, they are going to get a whole lot more money in that coin purse.